What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Bobby Fi here, flying solo today. Sheets is out. I hope he has a nice dinner in the city. And of course, every night it seems like he has a dinner in the city or something. It's like he can't make a show. He ends up somehow finding the net somewhere. So good luck to Sheets tonight. Good to see you, K9 Bronco. Good to see all you guys in chat. Make sure to please hit the like button. We want to go through this as quickly as we can so we have time to finish editing. And we've got news we're waiting for. The biggest piece of news is this Cleveland situation with Garland. I was under sort of Sheets' impression that, don't you think that if you had to play one end of it at back-to-back, aren't you going to play the home game? So I'm a little nervous about the situation. And if he's out, you basically have to play, in my opinion, at least one of Garland, LeVert. I'm sorry, at least one of Mitchell, LeVert, Mobley, Struss. If they start Ty Jerome, which I don't think they'll do, then that could be another conversation you have to figure out too, because there's another minimum cost guy that could be starting. So we really don't know. It seems like most people around the league are seeming to lean that he might be out. So that's a really, really big piece of information. And I think the best thing to do is, I already have some LeVert anyway. He's going to have some ownership anyway. Whatever. If Garland's even limited, it's still a boost for LeVert. So I'll play LeVert either way. If Garland plays, I think he's actually an incredible tournament play. If he doesn't play, though, I think you have to have these guys. And then Mitchell, I'm not playing outside of Garland, but I think I might just try to get some even anyway, just because I feel like, well, I don't know, actually. I'm sort of going back and forth what I want to do. I'm just hoping we get the news before 7 Eastern. I don't think we will. If we get any news or any starting lineups, please let us know in the chat. I can't do it all at the same time, so with that said, I'll tell you guys where I'm at right now. I posted my current exposures for the slate and in the Discord channel for the premium members. So where I'm at is, look, I understand the Day'Ron Sharpe concerns. There's a lot of bodies in Brooklyn. They don't necessarily have to play big, so it's a concern. And it could be Watford, by the way. So that's the other thing just to keep in mind. Maybe you use Watford for the small buy-in large field. Maybe you use Sharpe in the high buy-in small field. My next highest owned guys, I'm going to go back to the well with Jaren Jackson and Evan Mobley. I don't care that they didn't perform in the first game. I still think that they're tremendous plays. I'm looking by position here. So here's my centers, but a lot of these guys are forward eligible on FanDuel, and you want to play them in the forward spot because you do want to go double center. I have double center in every one of my builds on DraftKings right now. That's an important thing to probably touch on. And fiery questions and thoughts, but I'm gonna try and read through my center ownerships. Go Sharpe, Jackson, and Mobley, but they're both forward eligible, so use them there. So then for full centers, I go Şengün, Duren, power forward center. We're going to use him at power forward, Kevin Love. Then I go Tillman, power forward center, John Collins, use him at power forward. Mark Williams, Jakob Poeltl, Zach Collins, and Vucevic round out my center ownership. And then in order of my point guards who I'm owning, this is funny because two of them are forward eligible. Usually you want to play guard spots and all that stuff. I actually think that because power forward and center is so loaded, you want to try and use some of these small forwards as guards. So highest owned player I have of any kind is Jeremy Sochan. I'm playing him a lot at point guard. I'm playing him some at small forward, but a lot of point guard. Same thing with Scotty Barnes. I'm going to be way over on Scotty Barnes this year, especially early. I think that his price, it's a misprice, and I think that he's going to be ridiculously underowned. I also like De'Aaron Fox quite a bit, which I mentioned earlier on the show. It's, again, a matchup he thrived in the postseason last year. They lost their first game coming back home. I think this is a big time for them to try and get a nice start. The crowd's going to fire him up. Like De'Aaron Fox on both sides. Next, we get to Luka. Luka, I actually have in more of my buy-ins than anyone except for Sochan of the point guards, but he's just in less of my overall lineups than the other guys are. Then you get Scoot Henderson and Steph Curry, who you can also use at shooting guard for both of those guys. Let's go to power forward. And we've got my power forwards right now. Again, you want to use these guys at small forward if they're small forward and power forward eligible. DeRozan, Jackson, Mobley, Kevin Love, Smith, Jabari Smith, John Collins. That's pretty much most of the guys I'm using. So shooting guard, currently I have Levine, Scoot Henderson, and Anunoby. This is in order: Levert, Horton Tucker, Curry. Small forward: Sohan, Barnes, Levine, DeRozan, Zaire Williams, Levert, Horton Tucker, and then a little bit of Thibault just to get a little weird with some builds and hope he gets my 20 fantasy points for me, and I can always shift later. See, I hear what you're saying, JD. It's exactly right. But the good news about the NBA injury news being the worst part of NBA and why it drives me crazy every day, the good news is that means we can outplay them. That means we can outwork them. You can outwork other people if you're up to date on all this stuff. And it's going to be impossible sometimes for projection systems to catch up, which is one of the ways I've made a lot of money at NBA DFS. So that's the way that I try to treat it. I look at it as a little bit of an advantage. It's an annoying advantage. You have to spend a lot more time, but it is worth it. And it's worth it to know who picks up the slack. That projections are not going to get there in time if it's 5 minutes before lock that could change the slate. It's annoying, yes. The Day'Ron Sharpe thing doesn't happen until way later. That's going to annoy a lot of people if he doesn't end up starting. But it's just the nature of the game. And if you are playing him, you can always pivot over to someone else. So that's what I like about NBA. NBA it's not for the casual DFS player. I hate to say that because I'd love to be saying, hey, come and play, follow us, we'll tell you what to do. Yes, that's true. But you can only be so good up to editing. That's why I encourage everyone to be a part of our site. And we announce everything in the premium, what we're doing with all the information afterwards and all that. It's a really, really important thing for you guys to pay attention to, is this late information. And we talk about what we're doing. You can tag me in questions. I'm probably going to answer the premium stuff more than I am going to the stuff in the general site, just because I feel a lot obligation to our members. But I will try to get to whatever I can in terms of questions and say what I'm doing with information that comes in. All right. So I would love to field any QQs, any thoughts, because I really think that, I just gave away everybody who I'm playing, basically. I will say on FanDuel, a couple of differences. I have guys like Killian Hayes over there a little bit. I've got more Scoot Henderson over there. I even have some Dylan Brooks over there. I have some David Roddy and Zaire Williams and some weird builds that have like Luka and Jokic in there. I have more Jokic over there. I have more Wemby over there. But my notes to myself are: get some Shaedon Sharpe, get some Wemby, figure out what's happening in Cleveland, and then potentially look for a couple of game stacks that you like. Unfortunately, one of the games I like to stack because of the pricing is a game that I hate for stacking, which is, I hate it because of I think it's going to be a low scoring game, or a lower scoring game than a lot of these other ones. That's Toronto and Chicago, but the pricing kind of makes you want to do it. Don't forget that DeMar DeRozan's always been very good in revenge games. I know this is at home, but he's played really well against the Raptors consistently. I know it's an old revenge. You'll have it with San Antonio also. It's better when he's on the road there. That's when we expect the huge games, but I still really like him, and I do think I want to target some of that game. But I think Houston-San Antonio is a really interesting game to target. And just forget what happened day one. You can play Jalen Green and Şengün and Wemby, and I think Vassell would be my favorite, or Vassell, however you want to pronounce it, along with the obvious Sohan play. So I think it's really interesting. Let's see this question. K9 Bronco, last piece on FanDuel, Anunoby or Rozier. What is Rozier's price that I must have missed him so badly that he's priced like that? That's bizarre. There's a $2,300 price difference on DraftKings between the two of them. I don't think I'm playing Anunoby at 7,600 over there. I don't mind it. I think I don't really want either of those guys, to be honest with you, but they're both fine. So I guess slight edge, maybe Anunoby. I don't know. They're very close, and neither of them are making it in any of my lineups. So I really don't have a strong take on that one. On FanDuel, they're not making my lineups, that is. NBA DFS is fun, Rowing Bears. That's right. Tell them. What are we doing with Simons out? That's what I was saying. I already mentioned that. I said I have a good percentage of Scoot Henderson, and that's why I have the note to play Shaedon Sharpe. And I think it's a bump for DeAndre Ayton as well, although I'm not getting to him much. But I think all of those guys get the biggest boost, assuming that Sharpe does start. Even if Sharpe doesn't start, I actually think he's a good tournament play. And mostly, though, the answer is going to be Scoot and Sharpe. All right, let's see what else we got here. Sohan is like Davis; they are roller coasters. I don't think that's true about Sohan. Sohan's 21 years old. We can't put a label on a player who's never had the opportunity to have the role he's having this season that is just completely off. So let's not make up anything about this. Sohan is like Anthony Davis thing. No, you're going to have up and down games from guys who are 21 years old. There's nothing about Sohan that is something you should be alarmed based on what we've seen so far. The guy's really good. It's a great matchup. And I think that you're going to see good things from him for the next 10 years. I've been a huge Sohan guy for a long time, really big on the Spurs futures. I mean, Wemby, him, and Ian Vassell, I just don't think people realize how good that trio is going to be. And then you throw Keldon Johnson in the mix. All they need is like that one vet. You know what they need? They might be the one team in the NBA that I would say, hey, you know who would help James Harden would be good to have? It might be that team. So James Harden actually might be their answer in the future for next year, maybe, if he's ever playing basketball anymore. What's up, my man Remo? Always good to see you back in here. Thoughts of Zubac on FanDuel. He didn't pop at all for me. I have 0 of him, but let me see what we're working with here. 7,200 for Zubac? Hell no. There's no way. I don't care if he had a big first game. That's chasey. It's a chasey thing. He had the best possible matchup against Portland. By the way, a good reason to play Wendell Carter. It's just there's too many centers. I didn't get to him. But I expect Portland to get just torched down low all season long. So yeah, even if it works out with Zubac, I think I would have him ranked as like my 25th favorite center on FanDuel. So I will have 0 of Zubac on FanDuel. Absolutely no way I'm playing him. But doesn't mean that he can't have look. Can he have the game? But even what's the game? Like even the game he put up, he had like his ceiling game in the last game, and he had 44 fantasy points. 7,244. Yeah, we would take that. But you don't want a ceiling game for 7,200. No problem, Remo. And by the way, you guys who know me for a while, you know how I talk. I sound like I'm not trying to criticize you or your play. I'm saying my thought process when I think of it. I'm like, hell no. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I didn't think of that. It's a good idea. I just am very trying to be authentic in my reactions and tell you what I'm doing. So please don't ever take it personally if I criticize one of the plays that you're considering making. It's just my take. It's my instant reaction. I would say it to my best friend the same way I would my worst enemy. Hell no. Or yes, maybe I should think about that more. Or absolutely, you got to go ahead and play that guy. All right, guys. Well, we're drying up on some questions, but we're still here to talk through everything. We don't have official word on LeVert unless it's come up in the last couple minutes, and that's really not LeVert on Garland, which is going to dictate LeVert and Donovan Mitchell ownership, etc. So we may end up with some very, very strong chalk. We just don't know yet, and I don't know what to do with the lack of information other than say we have to wait. It's the NBA. We have to wait. All right. I did post some things in our Discord. Guys, if you're interested in playing for SaberSim, please sign up on their sign-up sheet. I posted it in our Discord for everyone, not just our premium Discord. I think you guys should take a look at that. It's a great way. It at least eliminates the rake if you're selling at a markup, or it negates a lot of the rake. And it allows you maybe to play some bigger tournaments that you wouldn't play in otherwise. So I think it's really worth it for people. I appreciate that, Jolly. Hey, I really appreciate that, Remo. Nice. I appreciate the kind words. I know it's always good to see you back in here. I know when NBA is back because a lot of my guys come back in the chat and guys I haven't been able to see for a while. And it's always good to see you guys in here. So I appreciate you. All right. What else? Let me know if there's any other questions or thoughts. You know how we do it. We go usually 6 Eastern to 6:30 Eastern for our crunch time lock, our live before lock before crunch time on RG. But I totally am happy to cut out a little bit early and finish my builds if there's no more questions and answer anything in Discord after that. But I want to remind everybody, we are our site is we're building out a bunch of new stuff. We've got new tools. I would suggest people to take a look at it. And also I want to remind everybody, BobbyFi NBA code, you can sign up for 25% off your first month. I see some people have taken advantage of that already. And I'm telling you, it's worth it when you factor in. It was just for Sheets' projections alone, not to mention we have SaberSim's Sheets and Goldie's aggregate, which takes the entire industry, what they think, and merges it into one. And Goldie, shout out to Goldie for doing a great job with that. But I really think we have a lot to offer. You also get to see all of my exposures on everybody I'm playing that night. I'll show you all the early builds, the first things that go back and forth. And then our Discord channel alone might end up being worth it for those of you who are heavy players. So I really think that you guys should check it out. All right, guys. I'm also going to, as I like to do these days, attach the Discord to for anyone who may not be a member already, because some people aren't on there. But I really think that a lot of basketball, what happens is in Discord. So I'm going to enter our Discord there so you can sign up there. And there's no charge for our Discord, but for the premium, obviously you have to be a member of the site. All right, guys. Seems like things are drying up a little bit. I'm going to give it another minute or two to see if any other questions come in. Otherwise, I may get out of here a little bit early. Usually, Sheets and I would go through builds and things like that, and we do every day, but usually every day of the week. But Fridays are a little bit tough for him because he has wife duties. He has a responsibility, as he always says. Don't upset the woman is rule number one in life, and rule number two is see rule number one. So I don't disagree with that. My girlfriend's coming to visit tonight too, so she'll be here in a little bit. Hopefully we get to sweat, 6-figure win for myself or one of the True DFS members. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys. If you don't mind clicking the like before you get out of here, we appreciate so we can keep doing these videos for free. If we don't get a little more love, we'll probably switch over to just start doing them for premium people because we do have a lot of members and we got people that we really want to, we feel obligated to, and that way we can share our screens and talk about stuff that we can't really talk about without getting our YouTube channel canceled because I can't show direct full lineup builds on FanDuel or DraftKings, even though Sheets has broken the rules a few times and gotten away with it. I don't think I can do it. We have been shut down before for it a long time ago. And that's how transparent we're trying to be. We're trying to show you guys, literally show you exactly what we're doing. Anyway. All right. If that's pretty much it, I think I'm going to get out of here. It seems like things are drying up a little bit. Oh, here we go. Which team do I recommend stacking? My recommended stack is actually Houston, San Antonio. You need Houston to keep the game close, but I like that Houston, San Antonio stack. I tried to fiddle around with the Brooklyn, Dallas, and I couldn't quite find something that made enough sense to full stack for me. But, I like pieces from there. I think I'll have some Fox versus Steph lineups. That's a little mini stack, but it eats up a lot of your salary. So it's sort of like a stack. And then if Garland is, if Darius Garland is out, I think Cleveland and OKC become stackable. But instead of paying for the big guys, I would encourage people to take it's going to be up and down all season, but I would gamble on Chet Holmgren. This guy's going to be a stud. Got him more on FanDuel today. And I would gamble on Jalen Williams. I like both those guys quite a bit. Those would be my run backs because I'll be playing 2 or 3 guys from Cleveland probably in most of my lineups if we get Garland out. Hey, I appreciate the kind words, T-Dubs. Kyrie revenge narrative. If it was in Brooklyn, that's where you really get the revenge. But what's the revenge? Like, who's he getting revenge on? The team that he effed over? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Like, you know what I mean? It's a strange one. I can't pay that price for Kyrie while he's playing with Luka. I mean, look, even if he gets there, what's getting there? Like, he has to get at least 60 for me to feel good about the play, right? And, 96. Okay, 96, he could get 55. He has to get 55 for him to be the play. And that's okay. Maybe he gets 55 here. How often does he get 70? If I'm going to play a guy at 9,600, I'm going to play Donovan Mitchell for 94 and get him for 70. I'm going to take the upside for Steph Curry where he's got, as many shots as he wants. I'll play him and I'll hope to get the 70 from him. You know what I mean? Kyrie has a path to score 50 real life points, but it's really unlikely. And it's, I don't want to shut it down. Like, I think that if I was playing 150 tonight, I think I would have Kyrie in maybe like 2 or 3% of my lineups. That's where I would be on him. So I can't quite get there. Same thing with LaMelo on the supposed minutes limit, although he did play 31 minutes, shot the ball horribly. I would rather probably play him than Kyrie even. But it is the home opener. Maybe they want to show Kyrie off a little bit. Maybe he wants to get going. Maybe he hits a few threes early on and he ends up just getting hot and it turns into one of the 50 real life point games. But it's just not, to me, sound play to play him. All right, guys. Good luck to everybody. We appreciate you all. Again, click the like before you get out of here. Join us in Discord if you aren't already. And let's make some money, y'all.